Hello and welcome to the next edition of Carrots and Cake Instagram Live. This is a special edition because we are doing it out in the wild at East Bay Grille in Plymouth. We were at Miraboo this morning. We had a lovely 10-year celebration and this was on the way home. So we figured we'd stop here and do a quick Instagram Live before heading home and picking up Quinn and all that good stuff. So I have a ton of questions. I have my handy dandy list, super prepared. It's on a napkin, but they're all good questions. So we'll get right into it. I have 4 questions once again. They are, what does Mel do for work? I get that question all the time, which I think is so funny. He does have a super cool job, so I will tell you about it in a second. How to balance running and CrossFit. I get that question a lot. A few questions about our Berkey. I posted about it on Instagram in my feed the other day. So I got a bunch of questions about our Berkey, so I'll tell you all about it. And then a question I just got yesterday about balancing indulgences with healthy eating. So I'll have a few tips for that and some info. So let's get right to it. So Mal is a male model and he is very busy during the day and he's got weird vacations and that's why he's home at weird times. No, he is a high school history and psychology teacher. He also teaches AP Human Geography. And yeah, he's been a teacher for 12 years now. He'll be going into his 13th year, and that's why he's home at weird times during the day. And my joke about him being a male model was really bad, so I apologize for that. But he's looking at me right now as he films us with his sunglasses and he's looking all cool and everything like that. So that male model would be a good alternative job. But he's a teacher, so he is home for the summer, hanging out with Quinn and me. Good gig. The second question was about balancing CrossFit and running. I do get this question a lot because I love both and I try to do both as best I can. And so my best advice over the years, I've run half marathons and marathons. I've done the CrossFit Open. I've done competitions, things like that. So my best advice is just to pick one. You really have to pick one or the other. It's so hard to do both at the same time. So if you have the half marathon coming up, focus on that. If you have the CrossFit competition coming up, focus on that. And it's not forever, like it's 8 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever it is. Focus on that and then kind of cherry pick your workouts, because I mean you can definitely balance both and I think they complement each other really well, but you can't go all in on a half marathon or marathon when you're at the gym at CrossFit or something like that 4 or 5 days a week. It's just not gonna work. You need to run. Excuse me. The never-ending cough. But that's the one thing I've learned over the year. If you're focusing on a long distance race or something like that, you gotta run and you gotta put CrossFit on the back burner and vice versa. If the CrossFit Open's coming up, focus on the Open, put your running on the back burner. Also, I think another big thing is not to overtrain. I mean, I remember training for the marathon in 2015 and my gosh, I was working out 6 days a week. I was just overtraining so much. I was totally exhausted. All my workouts sucked. It wasn't like one was better than the other. It just, everything sucked because I was so tired. So I'd say anything, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't want to run, I don't want to go to CrossFit, just take a rest day, don't kill yourself. And then also kind of going along with that is don't feel bad about it. If you're training for something like that where you're putting so much energy in it, don't feel bad about it. It's hard to do it all. And I mean, if you're expecting a lot from your body, if you're running millions of miles or, spending so much time at the gym, high volume, heavy weights, don't feel bad about it. And then finally, the last thing is just adjust your expectations. So I'm going back to marathon training. When I was running, I wasn't going to be PRing a deadlift or, PRing, some sort of push press or anything like that. It really was all about focusing on my running and my distance and all that good stuff. So just adjusting your expectations about what your main focus is and what the secondary focus is. So I actually have a blog post about this on Carrots and Cake, so I will link to that. But again, I really think it's coming down to just focusing your attention on one or the other and, just putting your efforts there with the other one being the secondary interest. And it's not forever. You're allowed to change your interests, you're allowed to change your fitness goals, so keep that in mind too. The third question is about the Berkey, and we love our Berkey, and we did a lot of research about what water filtration system we wanted. Our big thing was we didn't want to hook something up to our faucet. We didn't want that whole thing with hooking up our faucet and drilling holes in our counter, all that. And then our fridge doesn't have the water filtration system, so we wanted something that was standalone. You could just add water to it and filter it. And the Berkey, if you go online and do some research, it is the best out there by far. So we love it. I actually have a post coming out on Friday with all the details why we love it so much. I mean, Quinn is obsessed with it. It's like the coolest thing to pour yourself a glass of water and drink it. I swear he's drank way more water in the last few months than he's ever drank. So look for that. There's also a discount code, so if you're interested in buying one, check that out. So that's coming up on Friday. And the last question is balancing indulging with healthy eating, which has been the theme of the summer so far. I mean, we have had so many indulgences and vacations and cocktails this summer. So my best advice is tracking your macros, of course. You know, obviously I have this macro business, but I really think macros are a great way to give you kind of the bumpers. I always think of like bumper bowling, just kind of give you these bumpers to like stay within a range with regard to, you know, your healthy choices, but also your indulgences, because, you know, summer happens, life happens, you know, you just can't eat clean all the time. At least I can't eat clean all the time. That having macros kind of keeps me honest about my choices, that if I do want to have a couple glasses of wine, or if I want to have nut butter or whatever it is, I can track my macros in that sense and just kind of keep me balanced in that sense. So if you're interested, you know, I have these great, you know, macro coaching plans on Carrots and Cake. You can find out more info there. And of course, you know, send me an email. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. But I think that really is a great way to live your life, you know, eat healthy most of the time, but still have those indulgences and not feel bad about it, because, you know, you're fitting it into your day, you're fitting it into your overall calorie intake, all that good stuff, and, you know, have your carrots in your cake too. So I hope you enjoyed this edition of Carrots and Cake Live. I feel like I just flew through it, but, you know, we're out in the wild here, so I feel like a little goofy doing Instagram Live in the middle of this, you know, nice restaurant. But I hope you guys are having a nice day, and stay tuned for the next edition. And if you have questions, feel free to send them whenever. You know, I have my running list, so just let me know if you have a question. And that's it. Happy Thursday. And then you gotta save it, which is huge.
End live video.
Oh no, no.
Cancel.
You gotta, wait, where's end? How'd you do that? Yeah, end live video.